Hello girlies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor. I'm the founder and designer of NYGC by Taylor, or Not Your Grandma's Crochet. I'm a little bit distracted by the fact that my head kind of looks a little big. Is it just me? Anyways, did I say welcome back to another 2-day market vlog? Well, welcome back. The past 2 weeks, it has been 2 weeks since my last one, have been interesting, semi-productive. In the first week, I did spend making a few hats, which I'll show you. Then I went camping this past weekend, which is why I didn't do a market. And then I've also been working on my summer collection. So let me show you everything that I've completed in the meantime. Okay, let's start with the bag. So essentially what I'm trying to do with my yarn is make one market bag, 2 hats, and then a small bow shoulder bag from each situation. These all came from yarns that weren't necessarily full technically, but not this one. This one came from a yarn that wasn't fully full, so I only got this bag and this hat. I think I have enough yarn for a small bow shoulder bag, but I don't think I have enough for another hat. Literally love this color. She's super cute. This is gonna be my mesh bucket hat, like so. Then as far as hats are concerned, or other colors, I'm chaotic right now. Okay, it's a chaotic start. Anyways, this is what I've got done in the purple. At my market, my most recent market, I did actually complete a market bag for this color, so this did actually get out my full ideal amount of products. This hat is going to be my hat, however, because it was the first one I ever made, so that means that she has to be mine. I also have like already worn this one out and stuff like that. This one, however, I've only worn just to like test that it's like a good fit, and so I feel completely fine about selling it. It's giving goofy, but I have a claw clip in. That's why I look like this. Well, that's not why, but that's the reason I'm going to tell you. Last but not least, I made this white ruffle hat, and I already have 2 bow shoulder bags, a mini one, not mini, a small and a medium size. I don't know if I have enough white yarn to make a mesh bucket hat. So yeah, we'll have to see. Anyways, let's head over to the bed because there's a few more things I want to make tonight, and maybe sitting down will tame my chaotic energy, though I doubt that. As of right now, I only have 3 hats for market day, not including the one that I'm keeping for myself. So in the perfectest of perfect worlds, I can complete 2 more hats today, both bucket hats, just because those are slightly faster than the ruffle. It's currently 8:40, and I want to make a black one and a pink one. If I'm getting bored of hats, then I have this yellow yarn that I could maybe make a small bow shoulder bag, but I really should make another hat in another color, and so I'm trying to decide. I think I should do pink because the pink will like keep me excited, keep me alive, keep me ready to go, and the pink seems to be doing pretty well at market, so I want to replenish the pink. Then I'll work on the black, and then yeah, I will say the hats are the focus. If I'm able to finish 2 hats tonight, then I want to start a 3rd one, but I feel like that's a bit ambitious. And I also woke up pretty early this morning, so I don't know how long I'll be able to stay up. What was that accent? I don't know, but let's get working. I have 1 more episode of the final, or season 3 of White Lotus, and a plethora of YouTube videos, so the content is secured. Let's do it.
A size that had that number of stitches, so I didn't really have a size that I can go off of, so I sort of just made my own size, and that's fine. That went well. I felt confident. My math was good. That was until I'm knitting and I decided to measure, and based on my gauge swatch, I should have had to knit a couple more.
It's 10:48. What is that, like 2 hours, 2.5-ish hours? we have one hat done. So now our count is at 4. I think I'm gonna call this the 90s mesh bucket hat. So 2 90s mesh bucket hats, 2 90s mesh 2 90s mesh bucket hats. Should I just call them 90s mesh hats? 2 90s mesh hats and 2 ruffle hats. Slay. I have the slightest bit of energy show. Let's see how much progress we can make on another hat. I will decide if she will be 90s or ruffle when I get to that point. Good morning, girls. It's the day of the market. It's currently 9:52. I woke up at literally like 7:30 this morning and I said no. So then I woke up at like 8:30. Anyways, last night I only finished like the circle of the black hat, but today I've been working on the base since I woke up. I just have to do like the hem bit sort of situation, but I'm just gonna do that when I get to my market because I need to start getting ready and eating breakfast and whatnot. Now these hats have been looking like low-key small to me. I know it's actually fine in like retrospect, and plus like it's crochet, like, you know, there's some stretchability to it, but I definitely want to make sure I bring my tape measure because I will be making more hats at the market, and I just want to make sure we're always in that 7-inch diameter. Another thing, this yarn is a little bit thick. She's a thick girl. She's like dense, but like she's like a little bit more plush, I guess, but it didn't really affect the total measurements, which was just interesting. I think this is enough yarn to make a ruffle version, so I'll be bringing this with me to the market. Anyways, let's do the one thing that I need to do. Okay, currently I'm on my price list, which actually has been nice. People have been actually looking at it, but yeah, currently I have bags at the bottom, but that's not really necessary because I have the price of my bags on actual hang tags attached to each bag. So I want to switch it out for the hats because I'm not going to be attaching individual hang tags to each hat. Just not happening. I'm gonna need to grab some scissors also. I've honestly really enjoyed having the letter board. I just feel like it allows people to make decisions independent of me, if you get what I mean. Like, they don't have to like ask me questions about like how much, you know, headband costs, even though a lot of times people do still ask questions. But yeah, I found overall it's been nice, and the market that I had it at, I sold well, and the market I didn't. So we'll see if today I find that there's any correlation. Who knows? So the prices for the hats are for the 90s mesh hat, I'm going to price that one at $50, and for the ruffle hat, I'm going to price it at $65. They both take me, well, the 90s mesh hat takes me about 2.5 hours, and the ruffle hat takes me about probably like closer to like 3.5 hours. I could easily price everything a little bit more, but because I priced my bow mesh shoulder bags a little bit lower than what I should be pricing them at, I'm gonna price the hats closer to the rate that I would want to price them at to like make that balance out. And I think that the hats will sell well. So we have a 50, and we have a 65. Do we have another 5? Oh dearie. There's no way we just have 2 5s. Alright, is that gonna have to be 70? Well, I don't have another 5 farm. I mean, I could price it at 70. Okay. I tried. Should I price the other one at 60 then? Do 60 and 70? Let me think about that. 60 and 70. I'm fine with 70 for the ruffle. I am fine with that. But am I fine with 60? I wish I had another 5. I really wanted the girls to have it for 65. Well, I guess we're just gonna do 60 and 70. I don't personally feel like it's a $20 difference between the two hats, you know? Or is it? It really isn't. Yeah, let's just do 60 and 70. I tried, girls, I'm sorry. Sometimes God just has to intervene. Well, here we are. Hat, 60. Oh, did I put this up right? Yeah, I put it all over the place. 60, 70. Now, this does make the market bag being 80 kind of a ridiculous price, but for some reason my bags just aren't selling. So until those sell better in person, I'm just gonna leave those priced at what they're currently at. I'm back from the market. It's currently 8:50. I got back at like 7 though. I was really overstimulated from my hair being down and wearing the hat. I don't know that I would do that. I'm kidding. I think next time I'd wear my hair in like a low bun or like something like that. I guess you guys didn't see what I was looking. You guys didn't see what I was wearing. Neither did I take any photos, but I was wearing my hat. Not this one, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, I had my hair down, which I already knew was going to be a lot, and it was initially fine, except moving all my stuff, like transferring it from my car to the tent. I mean, I was like, oh God, my hair. So then I grabbed one of my scrunchies because I have all these scrunchies. So I grabbed the one that used to be mine, and I was gonna wear my hair in a low bun, but then I was like, I feel like I would prefer how I look with my hair down, which is true, like wearing the hat. So then I like tucked it out, and then it was okay. But then at the very end of the market, it got super hot. Like it jumped from like 78 degrees to 86. And so moving all my stuff back to my car, that was a lot. Like literally I was sweating to the point where I was wearing like a midi skirt and I could feel the sweat dripping down my thigh and the forehead sweat. And I sweat under my underarms quite a bit, but like other places not too much. So yeah, that was a lot. In terms of the market, it was good. It was definitely a slow crowd, definitely to the point where there was usually like 1 or 2 groups of people walking around at any given time. But yeah, it wasn't like super duper crazy busy. I did end up making one sale, and it was a commission. The person purchased this hat and they want me to make a toddler size version of it as well, and I think I'm going to customize it and add a contrast threading on this. This is all the yarn that I have. Good morning, girlies. I actually don't like this angle. Hold on. Alright, I was kind of rudely interrupted last night when I was trying to explain, but someone saw my lilac ruffle hat. Oh no. I think I lost a darning needle. Oh. It was bound to happen. Anyways, I'm sure I'll find it. I lost the top to like my water bottle. Like not the top, but like the part that you suck on essentially. And now I can still drink through it, but it would like leak everywhere. I'm very upset about that. I will be searching for it all day today. Anyways, another darning needle acquired. But yeah, so my customer, he came, he was like, hey, I like this hat. And I was like, cool. He was like, what are your prices? I told him. He was like, oh, like, I see that you're making these yourself. Like, I 100% understand. By the way, I ended up changing my prices to 65 and 50 because 60 and 70 was a bit absurd, I can't lie. And especially the reasoning being because I didn't have an extra 5. 50 and 65 are fine. So I was telling him that. He was like, oh, like, I completely understand. But he said something happened to like his bank. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, I only have like this, like, not, he didn't tell me how much, but he was like, I only have cash on me. And I was like, oh, well, I'll be here tomorrow, I don't know. And he was like, yeah, but I really want to get this for my wife, and I also like blah blah. So then I was like, okay, well, like, I was trying to be helpful, but I also was like not quite sure what I was going to be able to help him out with, you know. So then he was like, well, can I just like DM you or something and like we can get this situated? I was like, yeah, for sure, like just DM me, like, you know, you can just have one commission. And because I was telling him they're not currently on my website, so you can't just like go online and buy them. You would have to like message me. And he was like, oh, okay, but would it be possible for you to make one for like a baby? Like, do you have one that fit the baby? I have a 1-year-old. And I was like, the pink one that I made yesterday is low-key a little bit small. So I was like, that one's kind of small, but like, does your 1-year-old have a big head for a toddler? Those words came out my mouth. I said, does your 1-year-old have a big head for a toddler? What possessed me to say that? I have no idea. And he like laughed, and I was like, yeah, I can make one, but I don't have one on me. He was like, okay, so you said I could like order one with you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay. And I was like, but you'll have to give me a deposit, and like I can make it tonight, like, you know, and give it to you Sunday if you can come back here. And he was like, okay, all right. So then he was like, okay, I want this one and then one to match it. And I was like, cool. And he was like, is there any way you could do like some special stitching on it, you know, just to like customize it? He was asking about like appliques and stuff like that. But then when I said stitching, I was like, oh, okay, that could be easy. And like, it ended up being a little bit necessary. But anyways, yeah, I was like, yeah, I could probably figure something out. And he was like, okay, like, so are both hats gonna be 65? And I was like, no, for like the child size one, that's like 25. He was like, okay, cool. So like, yeah, so like 90, and you could just pay me a deposit of like a little bit. So I ended up giving me like 60 for the deposit. I'm like, cool, slay. And he was like, can I get your phone number? And I was like, and he was like, oh no, like I'm not talking about like that. Like, I mean, I can message you on Instagram. It was, the vibes were very like, what is going on here? But anyways, I'm gonna text him these photos. So last night I got working, and I had a very limited amount of the purple. I don't know if I remembered to show you guys yesterday. And so being able to use a second stitch color ended up working out because I think these are so cute. I literally think these are adorable. I will not be making it my business to be making child size hats, but I think that this would be very cute as a custom order, and maybe with some of my excess yarn I'll like make a few matching sets like so. So anyways, it's currently like almost 9:24. My plan is to get there a little bit earlier today because I think today's the last day they're giving out gift cards. They gave me a gift card yesterday. I didn't think I would get it, but I did get one yesterday, and I want to get fries today and a coffee. So I plan on leaving here like at like 10:15 ideally. So I'm just gonna get ready, try to change my sign. I might just take hats off fully, I don't know, and then I'm going to make myself breakfast and like get dressed and stuff. But yeah, that's my story. Hello girlies, it's the Monday after my 2 market weekend. It's actually the day that I'm uploading this video, and I thought I would do my typical recap, how much I paid and how much I made. I'm looking for my crochet hook. Oh, it's already in here. Anyways, this weekend was honestly such a slay. I'll say it again, if you're new here, I have been vending at Halidome Eatery, which is a food hall here in Atlanta. It was just the opportunity that I was looking for because they have a Saturday and Sunday market that's from 1 to 6 and it's completely free to vend at, which blows my mind every single time. One thing about it is that it is not in a necessarily walkable area, so it doesn't have like a whole bunch of just like organic foot traffic, but it is on a very busy road and people do turn in just by saying that, like, you know, a market of sorts is going on. That being said, on Saturday it was slower than past Saturdays. There definitely were still people walking around, but it would be like, you know, 2 or maybe 3 groups of people walking around at one time max. I do find that people often do go to every single booth, which is nice. So you are able to like interact with people, and if you are like really good at sales or you have really good prices, I feel like it's pretty easy to like sell people because most people end up leaving having bought something. That being said, how I did on Saturday was just okay. That was the first day that I brought my hats and people definitely liked the hats. However, I had my prices at 60 and 70 and what I wanted them to be at was 50 and 65, but I didn't have the right like numbers for my price list. And that wasn't really a good excuse to make them 60, 70 because I feel like 65 for the ruffle hat, people are like, oh, okay. But as soon as you say 70, they're like, oh, you know? So I did probably lose out on a sell or two because I was initially saying 70, but by the end of the day, I decided that I was gonna go back to 65, even though my price list said something else. And I ended up selling my purple lilac bucket hat, this one, and then the person wanted me to make a custom one for his toddler. So he said that he would come, he like put in a deposit and he said come back the next morning. So on Sunday he did in fact come back the next morning. It was really helpful because he came like earlier and he was able to help me get some of the stuff out of my car. And so I showed him the hat. Well, I sent him a picture that morning, but I showed him the hat and he was like, I'm not gonna lie, that looks a little small. And so he was like, I live like really close, so I'm just gonna go like try it on her. If it is too small, like that's completely on me, but will you be able to like remake it? And I was like, yeah, like, I mean, it didn't take too long. And he wanted to have it for that day because him, his wife, and his daughter were gonna go to this like strawberry farm here in Georgia. So anyways, he sends me, or he ends up coming back, he's like, yeah, that was too small, but like I said, that was completely on me. Like, I'm gonna give you a tip, but can you remake it because we really want to wear them today and my wife really likes hers. And I was like, yeah, like no problem. It should take me like an hour and a half, like, you know, I'll text you when I'm done. And so I ended up finishing up pretty quickly, to be honest. It was actually comically too small for that girl. He like sent me the photo. I'm not gonna put it here for like his privacy, but he sent me the photo and it was like right here basically. There was like this much amount of space. So I told him I was going to make it a little bit big so that she could grow into it since she's about to be 2, and you know, better to have something that'll last a little bit longer. So I ended up coming back, picking it up, and he was like, thank you so much. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Slay. By that point though, I'd already made 2 sells. One sell was a headband. Wait, I'm trying to do it in the right order. Okay, okay, so one of my followers on TikTok told me that they were gonna come by my market, and I was like excited to see one of my followers, of course, and she came. She was wearing like a crochet do-rag. She was like the cutest girl I've ever seen in my life, and she had these really cute like parachute pants on that like tied on the side. I was like, if you're following me, I love it. I love it. So anyways, we had like a very good vibe, and she was like, okay, like I love the color yellow. I want to buy the yellow headband and the yellow bandana. And then she was like, so she bought those, and then she was like, I want to see if I can commission you to make a version of your bow shoulder bag, the small one, but make it a crossbody, and I can come pick it up next weekend and I'll just give you like half now. And I was like, yes, slay. So that happened. And then a person who worked at another person, let's just say another person, bought my blue bandana. So now I only have 2 bandanas left, and I started with 6. So those are doing pretty well. Other things, the last thing that sold was another headband. So can I speak today? I ended up selling 2 headbands, 2 bandanas, and then the very last thing that sold was technically, I am all over the place, I'm so sorry. The other thing that ended up selling was a white small bow shoulder bag, and my goal today or Sunday was to sell a bag, so I was really happy to like have one sell. And I went to like a little girl whose cousin bought it for her, and she was like, it was just a very funny interaction. Anyways, sorry, that got a little bit chaotic because my brain started to lag, but I say that all to say, and I'm also sorry for the lawn sounds, I say that all to say that I really did enjoy my time this weekend. To give you guys a number, I made a little bit over $250. I don't necessarily have a goal for these markets, but I would like to make at least $150 a weekend, so having a $250, that was very much so a slay. I say this all the time, but I truly mean it. Even if I did not sell anything, because the market is free and I enjoy interacting with the customers, I enjoy interacting with the other vendors, it's still an experience that I would say is 100% worthwhile. I was telling one of my vendor neighbors that at the end of the day, I would be crocheting today regardless, so why not crochet out here with a better chance to make money? Theoretically speaking, I do have my like website and stuff like that, but my online sales have been non-existent. So while I do believe that will eventually change, for now it does not hurt me at all to instead spend the day, instead of spending the day inside crocheting and not making any money, I could be outside crocheting, interacting with people, making sales, making connections, and networking. And so as long as, you know, I'm enjoying at least sitting there crocheting, I plan to continue doing this. I already put in some more dates for May. Another one of the vendors was telling me about some other opportunities that I've put in applications for, and if I get them, I'll tell you guys more about it, of course. But yeah, I would say that this was a successful 2 market weekend, and I will in fact be doing another vlog for next weekend's market, so stay tuned. If you would like to see more of me on the day-to-day basis, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. If you would like to shop my made to order and made to measure and right ship pieces, you can check them out on NYGCbyTaylor.com. The hats are not currently on my website, but if you guys are interested in purchasing a hat, you can DM me on Instagram and I can take it that way. What? Huh? I can, bro, the way my brain is lagging, I can take payment or orders for hats through my DM. It's not even that early in the morning. Anyways, I'll see you guys in another video. It may or may not, or another video. I will definitely see you in another video. I will see you guys in a new video very soon that may or may not be a yarn haul, because girls, the stash is actually starting to get busted, which is such a slay. Anyways, goodbye.